Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. And in today's video we are taking a look at the expansion of my SilentGEAR Rolgear screwdriver collection here. I started this out a little while back with this version from Gedore. This is just a straight standard screwdriver. No bits come with this, just comes in its little blister pack. Part number on this is 2675 and it retails for around about £22 in the UK. It's a standard ratcheting screwdriver, other than it's silent, so it's on a roller mechanism rather than a actual click ratcheting mechanism, and you can change direction with it, lock it, go back the other way should you want to. So this is the one I started out with. I did a video on this a while back, and on that video somebody put me onto this version from Gedore, which is part number 2169, and this one actually comes with a set of bits within the handle. Pretty much the same screwdriver, although the handle itself is a lot more chunkier obviously and bigger. Slightly different colour scheme to it from the screwdriver. It doesn't come with any bits with it, but works in pretty much the same manner. To get to the bits we press in here and the bits pop up out the handle there. Probably one of the best mechanisms that I've seen for getting bits in and out of the handle. These always spring up nice and easy to get to. Really is great to use in that manner. And then obviously screwdriver again, change direction. We're going that way, we can lock it, and then we go the other way. So that's these two screwdrivers there. These are my first two. I really like this screwdriver, so I started looking at the other ones that are available out there, and I've since purchased these three here. We can look at this one from Inbus, and this one here. Inbus is a German manufacturer, and their tools are now sold by RS Components in the UK, although I think they actually ship them in from one of the RS European warehouses rather than direct in the UK. But this is exactly the same as the Gedore unit here, pretty much the same size, slightly different colours on the handle and obviously a different logo, but the bits fit to in exactly the same way. These ones you do have bit designation in here, whereas you didn't get that with the ones from Gedore. You see it's all clear, whereas you get the bits you can see they are actually designated in this version of. With this one we've got 3 slotted blades, we've got 3 Phillips, and we've got 2 posies and 3 Allen bits. And that's that one there. With our Inbus one, they've gone single slotted. We've got 2 Phillips, 2 posi, we've got 4 Allen key bits again, and then we've got 3 Torx. So just depends on what kind of bit you actually want, but obviously you can change these out to whatever suits you. And this Inbus one from RS Components retails for around about £34. As opposed to these two that come in a blister pack. This just came in a little storage bag, should you want to use that. I don't think I will. I think this will get stuck in one of my veto bags. As I say, as a screwdriver I do enjoy using. So that's those two there, pretty much identical. We move on to this one from Hazet. This is the 810R4. They also do this in a version 810R3. All that happens is you change the type of bits that are in there. So our 810R4, you can see that's the bits there that you get with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Torx, 1, 2, 3, 4 Allen key bits slotted, and 2 Phillips. And then on our R3 version, you get 3 Torx, we get posies and Phillips, 3 Allen bits and 2 slotted bits. So again, it would depend on which set of bits that you prefer. Handle is a little bit chunkier than the Gedore one. Slightly different pattern to it in terms of the grip. Obviously the logo is completely different. And whereas our Inbus and our Gedore, you have a fixed hexagon shaft here. This one you've got the bit adapter built into the handle, and you get an extension piece with it, and you put that in there, It does pretty much come out as the same style screwdriver. Obviously, with this being standard quarter hex bit drives, you can put the bits direct into here and you will have a slightly shorter screwdriver in there. Put the close up, haven't we? And put the bit inside the Gedore on there. You can see a fair bit of difference in there, good 2 inches difference in length when you have this Hazet version. If you're looking for something that little bit smaller, but obviously then you can, as long as you can store the bit adapter or the bit extension with the screwdriver, you're okay. Otherwise you've got to look after that and not lose that, haven't you? It's that same screwdriver again, same mechanism. You can lock in place and then go back the other way as well. So that's the version from Hazet. This 810R version I actually got from Amazon, and it was also £34, the same price as the version from Inbus. Both the R3 and the R4 version are exactly the same price. And did I get that right? I've got a feeling, yeah, 3 Torx bits, I got that wrong. This is the R3 version and not the R4 version. My mistake there with that one. Let's put bits back in so I don't lose them. The other thing is slightly different as well. These are kind of your standard they C3 6.5 bits that you get, whereas these are a smaller bodied version. They will fit in either one, but obviously they tend to disappear a little bit inside these standard hex drivers, whereas the one with your, and do they with that one as well? Yeah, they do in that end as well, but in your bit adapter they are a little bit more suited to that, I guess. But this will take standard bits as well. Yeah, so they will take that no problems whatsoever. The only slight difference with these versions with regard to bits that they take is they don't quite suit these ones for the impact drivers. You can put them in, they will fit, but they do wobble around a little bit. Nothing excessive really, you can use them quite happily with it, but there is a little bit of wobble there. I'm not sure how it does. Yeah, again, also a little bit worse in the actual bit adapter on the Hazet one here. But obviously you can fit everything else in here and turn it into a little socket driver should you want to. Fit in both of them. Again, no problems whatsoever there. We'll take these types that go into the impact guns anyway. We'll take them as well, but again, it's just wobbling around just that little bit more. And what it doesn't like are these bits here, the double-ended bits. Put them there and it's just spinning. Doesn't like that at all. Hazet one here. Again, spins, just doesn't stay in there. Doesn't like it one little bit. So that's our 3 main ones that we've got going on there. We then move on to this version from Rolgear. Completely different. Rolgear do a version like this from Gedore, just without the bits and the spinner handle. They also do fixed screwdriver versions, and I think even fixed nut spinner versions as well. But this is the version that I got. This is the one that was easiest to get within the United Kingdom. Rolgear are a Canadian company, and I purchased this from a store on eBay. 8-in-1 screwdriver. You can see it has the SilentGEAR mechanism, but you have a slightly different shape to the handle. The bits are quite a bit different. These are the standard bits that go into an impact gun that it takes, and they lock in and work all okay, and the bits are stored within the handle here. Very similar to the Milwaukee screwdriver, the bits stored that you have to push out. I do find a fair bit of friction in there, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable to get them going initially. These are a lot smoother and do come out a fair bit easier than the Milwaukee screwdriver. The only thing that I have found out really for me personally, especially with this slotted blade here, and depending on what angle it's in at, if I'm spinning the screwdriver, I do tend to catch my fingers on that a little bit, and it can become a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. You just have to reposition it. And obviously that's the smaller blade version that you get, so if you put a larger blade version in there and you have it sticking up like that, then it is quite noticeable as you spin it in there. If you spin it a little bit differently, even there I can still feel it on my thumb. But being Canadian, you've got 2 slotted bits with this. We've got 3 square bits. I don't know if this is actually the right set of bits, because I've got a square 1 there and then 2 square 3s. I don't know whether this is wrong and I should have had a square 2. And then we've got 2 Phillips bits there. With regard to what else you can use with these, because these sit in quite a bit deeper than they do on the other screwdrivers, you can use these double-ended bits. They fit in very nicely and will work, no problems. These bits, you know full well, are going to fit that are for the impact drivers. They fit in there. You've got your nut spinner there. And then these standard bits here, shorter, you can make it a little bit shorter. So if you take a standard bit and put it in our Gedore, keep using, again you're very close to the Hazet one there, aren't you? Yeah, very similar to the Hazet one there. Obviously if you put a standard bit here, you can kind of use it, but that's what you end up with. It ends up shorter than the Hazet, but it's disappeared right up in there, so you might get away with using it, but I don't think it would work for everything, would it? And it is a right pain to get out. I have to use a pair of pliers for that. This is a magnetic retention on the bits, whereas obviously this is a collar that locks in place. And along with that, obviously you have these extension bits to turn this into use with a socket set. You put them in there, it will fit, but the magnet is too far down to actually hold it, so it just drops straight out. So to use standard 1/4" sockets with it, or any other size socket, you would need a socket adapter with the long reach on there that will then go in there. Obviously you put your socket on there then. This one is actually 3/8 drive, so my 1/4 will not fit on there, will it? But the principle is there. You can use that dead easy. The only other thing that I think of with these as well, these are quite bulky down at the neck. So whilst you can change direction with your finger and thumb, using it as a screwdriver, you then have to move your hand quite a bit down to change. And you can do it, it's just a little bit inconvenient, whereas with this one it's much easier to get to that little control to change the direction and then go back to your screwdriver. So that is a little bit of a nicer feature for this shape handle than with the other ones. Handle is a little bit, it's very similar size. It's a little bit chunkier around its midriff there. It depends what shape of handle you prefer, doesn't it? That's a very personal thing really, I guess. But yeah, that's the Rolgear one. And that's my full collection of these SilentGEAR screwdrivers. If you've not heard of Rolgear before, as I said, they are a Canadian company, if I didn't mention it earlier, and I believe that Rolgear hold the patent for this SilentGEAR mechanism. They patented that back in 2011, but manufacture of the actual complete screwdrivers, I believe, is carried out by a company called Oplast, who are in Slovenia, probably done under license from Rolgear for the mechanism, I guess, but then each one of these has a slightly different handle, probably manufactured on a license for each of these companies. Your Gedore and your Inbus seem to be together. I say Rolgear do a version very similar to the handle without any bits in it, and Hazet there seem to have completely their own design. So there you have it, that's the full selection of the Rolgear mechanism screwdrivers there, whichever version takes your fancy. That'll be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again in the next one.